Hello everyone. So this lecture which I am recording at present, it's purely based on ESG calculations, that how you are going to calculate the ESG numbers. Now what I'll do, I'll start with the basic understanding that for any scores, how you arrive at that value. ESG is a very big thing. First of all, I'll start something at which you can understand, something at which you can relate yourself. Okay, so that is the credit score. We will take the credit cards from the bank. Clear? What banks do, they will check the credit scores, that what is my credit scores. Accordingly they will issue me the credit card, and accordingly they will decide how much is the limit, I'm going to get. Clear? Similarly, we have the ESG score. Based on multiple data sets, I will decide that which company will be given what score, and accordingly we will put our investment into those companies. Clear? So basically we are going to learn it from a very scratch, that how you are going to create the ESG score. So it's a step by step process, that how this ESG scores are built. Clear? Now you have some raw data. Okay. Now with that raw data, you will find out the information with respect to the company, and how well they are maintaining, or how well they are spending towards the environmental, social and the governance issues. Clear? So one thing is clear, that ESG scores, okay, suppose I am giving you because when you are giving a score, if there is no ratings, okay, there is no bar, like if you'll give an exam, there is a scores of 0 to 100. So if you are between 9 to 90 to 100, you are considered to be as a excellent. If you are 80 to 90, you are good. If you are 60 to 80, you are average. 40 to 60, below average, and below 40 you are fail. Okay, so for that we need to ensure that what is my lower level and what is my higher level, so that I can see that which company is performing well and which company is not performing well in the environmental, social and governance concern. So in our case, what is the number? The number is 0 to 10. 0 to 10. Clear? Now over here you will be having the raw data. First of all, you will be having the raw data. Clear? Now that raw data will be transformed into indicators. I'll explain you each and every step. Okay, but giving you a preliminary understanding first of all, then the key issues, they will be transformed into the key issues, and then the pillars, and then you are going to get the final score, that is your final ESG score. Clear? Now this is your point number 1. Write down point number 2. One thing is very important, that you will be able to compute the simple exposure. Simple exposure and write down management based key issue scores. Management based key issue scores. Clear? Now raw data, indicator, key issues. Clear? Now you need to combine the pillar score. Now you need to combine all the 3 pillar score. What are these 3 pillars which you have? Environmental, social and governance. Clear? These are all the 3 brackets. They all have the number of 0 to 10. So based on that, you will get the number for each of the 3, and then you will come to the final score. But now that final scores also need adjustment with respect to the industry. Like if one company is into IT industry and another company is into the oil industry, so you cannot put both of them at the same level. Definitely it's for sure that oil industry will have the higher level of pollution as compared to the IT industry. Clear? So you need to understand the industry adjustment. If you are comparing two companies, A and B, so you need to ensure that definitely B will have a higher pollution as compared to A. So accordingly, I need to adjust my data. And there is one more concept is ladder ratings. Now, over here, yeah, coming to the indicators. What is this indicators? Now we will cover each and every point in detail, so I am picking up each and every term. So indicator means what? It's is a single measurable fact, like CO2 emission, that from that particular company how much CO2 emission is actually coming. Or this is just one example. Another is like the number of workplace injuries. Okay, how many workers are getting injured in the given environment. Clear? Pillars I have already explained you, that is your environmental, social and governance. So these are like the three buckets. Now on your screen you have two more terms, simple exposure and management based key scores. Clear? So what is the meaning of exposure? Write down that what is this exposure component is all about. Write down how much the company is affected by that issue. How much the company is how much the company is affected by that issue. How much the company is affected by that issue. Now remember that higher the exposure, higher the amount of risk. Higher the exposure, higher the amount of risk. We all come up with examples. Right now I have started building your structure, your base, like started with this, now entering into this, and then we will enter into a step-by-step calculation that how you can calculate a ESG score given a particular company. We will reach there as well. Okay, now management based. Write down how well the company handles the issue. Now how they will handle the issues? With the help of their policies, with the help of their targets and their systems. Clear? Now you are going to get these numbers from different pillars. Okay, so how you will add them? So you need to add them based on the weighted average method. We need to do it based on weighted average method. Now weighted average method, I am saying it for calculating the scores. It can be the scores which is coming for each of the three, means how you are getting these scores or how you are getting these scores, that I will tell you later. But yes, one method which we are using is how we are going to combine that numbers with the help of the weighted average methods. Clear? Now one more point I have explained you about the industry adjustments. Write down. Now what is the purpose of industry adjustment? Means why I want to do this industry adjustment? Because I want to compare the companies from multiple industries. Clear? Or if suppose two companies operating at two different scale but in the same industry, that's also a possibility. Two companies C and D, they are operating in the suppose they are operating in the steel industry. Okay, but they both have a different type of business structure. Possibly, I'm giving you an example. Now you will see that this is more polluting as compared to the company D. Now you need to identify that what are the reasons that why C is more polluting. Then you get to know that they are actually preparing the steel, but company D is actually importing the steel and then they are manufacturing it or cutting it into the pieces and then selling it. So definitely they are having one step ahead as compared to the D. So that's the reason their pollution level is high. So you need to do the adjustments. Clear? Now, one more point which is very important, normalize. See, when you are doing a calculation, you need to understand that all the parameters, all the steps by steps, what you have to do when you reach a conclusive number. Now, these things are not done via pen and paper. Again, I'm saying these things are not done via some pen and paper or some Excel sheets. These are done with the Python models, okay, R models, or even some cloud-based softwares. Clear? So even our laptops, our systems are not that tech heavy that we can incorporate so much of data to calculate the ESG scores, because there are not only millions, I tell you, billions of data. Means even in a one day, thousands of things, thousands of entries are there. But I'm doing it for say 10 years, from the last 10 years. So can you imagine the amount of data? You cannot even feed the data in your Excel sheet. If you will feed it, you try to run it, your Excel will corrupt, okay, or it will show you not responding. So you need for that you need supercomputers, such type of hardwares which can maintain that level of calculations. But on pen and paper, I am showing you what is actually done behind those systems. Clear? So now I am saying normalizing it. It's like the normal distribution. It's like a normal distribution. Clear? And when I normalize it, it becomes a standard distribution where the values range between 0 to 1, where the values range between 0 to 1. Clear? So why I need to normalize it? Because company A and company B, suppose they have the value of 70 and they have the value of 170. So how you will compare them? How you will compare them? So you will convert them into the same measurable level. Like I'll tell you, if I'm saying that Mr. A is 70 kg, but Mr. B is 6 feet height. So do you think it is comparable? No. So what you have to do? You also need to find out the weight of A, and then you need to compare it the weight of B. Or I am saying that Mr. A is having 100 kgs of goods, or for B I am saying it is 0.1 ton of goods. So you need to compare. So in order to compare, you need to have same values at the end, okay, like the tons, number of people, percentage, so that it is easy for me, for you to measure, to compare. Clear? Now being an analyst, you will do one more thing, is to put a value cap. Like for this particular factor, your value should not exceed 70, okay. Otherwise what happens now, one single factor can leads to the drastic change in the number of the values. Because see what happens, we are calculating our figures based on thousands and thousands of factors, but if one factor outshines in a given company, so it can disturbs my number, okay. So what I'll do, I'll put a cap that this factor should not go beyond this. Clear? So that it will not, see what happens now, if I'm calculating say average of the class, okay, that how much a class scores. Clear? See 60 students are there, but 56 students are actually scoring between 40 to 60, but there are 4 students who are scoring say 98 or 100. So now the average of the class, which should be between 40 to 60, but now because of these 4 students, the average is above 70, which is not the true representation of the data. Clear? So for this, we need to these types of adjustment, whether it is the normalization or whether it is the truncation, that is limiting a number so that it will not exceed the given cap, or even the industry adjustments. Clear? Now, let us begin the process. Okay, that how I am going to start this. Write down step number 1 is to collect the raw data for ESG score. Collect raw data for ESG score. Collect raw data for ESG score. Clear? Now you have to calculate it for a given company. Suppose it's a steel company. Suppose it's a steel company, and let us take an example of Tata Steel. Clear? So what information you are going to gather? Company is filing their sustainability report with the regulators, with the say company annual report. So from there you are going to get the company sustainability report. There you will get the understanding that how much CO2 they are actually putting into the atmosphere, how much water they are actually using. Clear? These type of information you will get it from the company sustainability report. Okay, you will pick up these information. Then you will check for the annual filings, annual findings. You will get the information about the board compositions, that how the board of director is actually formed. Clear? Then you will get the information about the labor reports, health and safety records, health and safety records. Clear? You will get it from the perspective of injuries, how well they are treated, what wages they are actually paying. Clear? Then some of the information will come from the government database about the organizations, from the NGOs, because we know that if anything goes wrong, their NGOs, their people, their committees, they have come up front and they'll start protesting it. Any news which are controversies for the particular given company. Clear? Like this, you will collect the information from multiple sources. Okay, we call them as a raw data because they are the original numbers and the facts before any conversions. This is something which is a true picture. Clear? So they include your sources, your indicators, your raw numbers, as well as in which year they are actually happening, year by year. It's not a 1 year data. You might be collecting 10 years, 20 years, or even 30 years data, that how well the company have improved over the given period of time. That also is very important. Clear? So now this is your raw data. Clear? Second step, you are converting your raw data to indicators. You are converting your raw data into indicators. So we call this as a normalizing. We call this as a normalizing, that I have actually normalized my information. Clear? Now different indicators have different set of units. Clear? And we convert them into the given scale 0 to 10. If something which is 0, it means very poor. It means very poor. If something is 10, we call that as an excellent. Clear? So this process is known as a normalization. So how you are going to do? Like you have over here, you have the information of CO2. Clear? So if the CO2 intensity is very high, like write down CO2 intensity. CO2 intensity means how much CO2 they have actually released. Now released not about the total, it's like CO2 released per ton of steel. Why I am writing this per ton of steel? Because company A and company B, A is producing only 100 kg of steel, B is producing 1000 kg of steel, but that is for sure that their carbon emission is higher because they are producing more. But suppose their total output of carbon in the atmosphere is say 30 kgs, is 30 kgs. So how much they have actually released in the atmosphere per kg of steel? 0.3. but they have produced say 200 kg, 200 kg in the atmosphere. So their carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is 0.2 kg per 1 kilo of steel. So company B is much better. Company B is much better. Clear? So what I'll do, I'll take this information, that how much tons of steel they have produced, how much carbon dioxide they have released into the air. So I can calculate this number, and now I will normalize it. Now I will normalize this information from the scale of 0 to 10. Why? Because this information is not relevant to me. How I will incorporate that into my data set? So I will convert that information into a scale of 0 to 1. Clear? Similarly, I'll see how much water they have used. Clear? It is in terms of liters, but now it's not it's meaningless in my data set. What I'll do, I'll convert it into 0 to 10. Clear? How many actually people lost their life, or how many actually got injured? This information normalized. Now independence of the board of directors. What percentage of the board of directors are actually independent? Suppose 30%. Again, this information is not relevant to me. I will normalize that particular data from 0 to 10 scale. Are you clear with this? So now how I will decide that what scale is given. Okay. Suppose I have the industry, all the data with respect to the water usage. I have all the data. Okay. Company A have used say 10 liters of water per kg of steel. Someone have used 12 kg of water. Someone have used 15 kg, 18 kg, 20 kg, or say 30 kg. This is the highest. This is the highest. So I know that my range is between 10 to 30. This is my lowest and this is my highest. But I got to know that my Tata Steel company, they have used say 12 kg liter of water per 1 kg of steel. So now I can see that where I'm actually landing in this information. So imagine that this is your 0 and this is your 10. So where is your 12? Where is your 12? Clear?